In the world of art, and specifically the realm of filmmaking, there are many hurdles you will face and have to inevitably jump over in your career. One of these major struggles you will face is the possible burdens of early success, where even as an amateur only finally now getting recognized in your field recently, you could find plenty of success in a body of work you've brought to life, and now face the heavy burden of having to follow that beloved work up with the possible obstacles ahead, such as people trying to put you in a box to try and replicate that magic all over again, or you could try to venture into something entirely different, which runs the risk of the film totally flopping and you getting put in director's jail for the rest of your career. And in a way, Satoshi Kon managed to run and, most importantly, overcome both of these things with the release of his second directorial effort in 2001, Millennium Actress, released 4 years after his iconic debut, Pefect Blue. Now, Pefect Blue needs no introduction, much like Satoshi Kon himself needs no introduction. But I find Millennium Actress to be one of the most fascinating footnotes in this already fascinating man's already fascinating career in cinema, as he and his collaborators looked at Pefect Blue and said to themselves, yeah, this was pretty neat, but there are things we could have done differently if we didn't have to follow a source material. So let's make something entirely original now so that we can do everything we want to and amp it up to 100. Oh, and also let's flip the themes of this dark and brutal debut onto its head into something more sentimental and emotionally resonant. And well, it worked. And I mean, looking back now, it's easier to say, well, yeah, of course both films were great, it's Satoshi Kon. But looking at it as if you were there when it happened, it seems like such an interesting way to follow up what many people would consider to be your magnum opus that could be impossible to top or replicate. Of course, Pefect Blue isn't something you could ever just replicate. There are lots of films both prior to and following it that can be compared to it as very similar, but the film itself is one of one thanks to its roots in animation and Kon's narrative vision. So making another film about an actress that also incorporates a lot of the same immersive narrative choices that Kon implemented as much as he could have into his previous film feels like such a fascinating choice because it confirms Kon's confidence in his collaborators and, most of all, in his own creative vision. As even with a premise set in the same realm as our last film, thematic exploration is handled so differently that it makes it stand out, with the styles of the films also heavily contrasting. Pefect Blue, being a much darker film at its core, dealt with a lot of heavy themes, while Millennium Actress runs for a more colorful landscape that looks at things with a more vibrant lens of set pieces. Kon discusses these key differences in an interview with the Midnight Eye himself, where he states, "In this sense, Pefect Blue and Millennium Actress are two sides of the same coin, I think. When I was making Pefect Blue, I thought it would be a positive film, but little by little it became negative, darker. That exhausted me in a way. When I started working with the producer of Millennium Actress, based on the premise I mentioned before, I had the intention of making the two films like sisters, through the depiction of the relationship between admirer and idol. So in adapting that relationship, I wanted to make Millennium Actress in completely opposite, more positive images. In this way, these two films are very important for me, because they show the dark side and the light side of the same relationship. Just as many things are shared in common in the broader sense of both films, certain themes within Millennium Actress specifically separate itself from Pefect Blue as a sort of antithesis, as much as it is a companion piece. One of the major themes or concepts in Pefect Blue that a lot of people draw out of the film is how life imitates art, which is something I agree with for that film. Though a lot of people see this as a theme in Millennium Actress too, which I don't agree with. Instead, I picture it as an in-depth look at how the meanings of art are based solely on the lives of the people making it come to life. Basically flipping one of Pefect Blue's concepts right on its head. As we see with Chiyoko, her career followed major trends of playing women who were always chasing after something, with the roots of her character being based on her own real-life chase for the man she saved as a younger woman. Her most powerful performances from the start of her promising career up to her disappearance from show business as a whole, all of it was based on the inner yearning for the person she had been pursuing to be found again. and once that desire began to leave her through the distasteful thought of him seeing her as an aging woman, she immediately stopped, no longer wanting to chase after that love once she believed that time had passed by the opportunity. In many ways, there are ideas shared between the two films that Millennium Actress actually improves on from Pefect Blue, through Satoshi Kon's style of storytelling and his development in animation becoming far more intricate and detailed. In Pefect Blue, we see the usage of our immersion in the fictional worlds created in Pefect Blue to hand us most of our exposition through juxtaposing it with reality and our confusion with the mystery. And in Millennium Actress, that immersive structure is made as the basis for the story of Chiyoko, with her entire biography being explored through the immersive exploration of the major acting works in her career and how her characters directly reflect her life as a young woman searching for that lost love. It transforms from a means of just creating an illusion and cleverly feeding us the minimal information we need, to becoming a spectacle that details the complex, bittersweet stages of a woman's life and memories. Both the interior and exterior layers of herself are drawn with precise detail and emphasis, creating a uniquely visualized yet introspective character study that uses little exposition to regard how she's presenting herself compared to how she's truly feeling. This is another thing that Kon talks about in interviews, such as his Midnight Eye interview here. To be honest, I care very little about the idea of the stalker in Pefect Blue. The storytelling aspects interest me much more. Looking at things objectively or subjectively gives two very different images. For an outsider, the dreams in the film within a film are easy to separate from the real world, but for the person who is experiencing them, everything is real. I wanted to describe that kind of situation, so I applied it in Pefect Blue. The producer was very interested in that type of concept, and he proposed making another film which would emphasize that aspect. He said he wanted to make a film that was like a trompe l'oeil, and from there we made the story of Millennium Actress. So for Pefect Blue, in the beginning there was a story, and to tell that story we applied this method, whereas with Millennium Actress, the method itself is the aim of the film. But it's a coincidence that these two films use this method. I would also like to try other styles of storytelling. The events and ending of the film illustrate how Chiyoko's life, confidence, and drive as an actress were powered by her thrilling pursuit of the man she never got to know. It's the central theme of the story that the thrill of pursuing that romanticized love is what makes her life thrilling. This can be spoken about in a broader sense as well by saying that the true core of Millennium Actress is how the thrills and excitement of life are based on our own pursuit of goals we set for ourselves. Whether you're chasing a dream, a person you love, or something else entirely, that chase is what makes life exciting. That's what creates the thrill that makes life go by in such a swift motion. And most importantly of all, it's what makes our lives worth living. And as we see Chiyoko face death with a smile on her face, knowing she'll be able to go after him again in the great beyond, it shows us that if we can look death in the eye as a new opportunity to chase those things we're pursuing, even something as grim as that can be seen as exciting. A new, unknown venture for us. The pursuit, the uncertainties they bring, the unexpected places they take us to, it's all based on that inner run after something so valuable to you, that you're willing to give your life for it. Millennium Actress's thematic pursuit makes it feel so incredibly humanist despite its fantastical, dreamlike nature. Kon's storytelling evolves to a level that makes me feel both reflective and emotional, and paints just how short life really is, and yet it never treats that as a bad thing, just another step in our journeys of the unknown possibilities that the universe holds for us. We never truly change at our cores once they become fully shaped. And even as we age, that image of ourselves that may look unrecognizable on the surface is still within you and recognizable to the ones that truly love or know you. It is yet another hit in Satoshi Kon's short-lived but legendary filmography that works perfectly as a side-to-side companion piece to Pefect Blue, while also improving and building off some of the things established in Kon's dark debut. It shows off his versatility as a storyteller whilst also refining and polishing the style he has become known for, and stands as another one of the most fever dream-like films in animation history. Another masterpiece from a master of the medium. I'd like to thank everybody that watched this video for sticking around until the end. I have nothing to plug this time, but I am having a ton of fun with the Satoshi Kon series I'm doing so far, and I cannot wait to continue it. These are two of the most important films in all of animation in my eyes, and I'm happy to have discussed them. Next week we'll be covering Tokyo Godfathers, so make sure to stay tuned for that. I also want to say thanks for the recent support on the channel. We've been growing fast and steady, and I'm really happy about that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Comment your favorite Satoshi Kon film or just anything that he's worked on, and most of all, share this video with your friends. The YouTube algorithm primarily boosts my videos because of engagements like that, so it would be a real help. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, as we are close to reaching 10,000 subscribers, and I believe it's more than possible for us to reach that goal by the end of the year. Thank you all again, and I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.